Welcome to My Book Inspiration here on Hana Live. This is the show where we're going to be interviewing movers and shakers of our country, as well as beyond our borders, people who are doing incredibly well in their various industries. And we're basically just going to get to find out a bit about them, as well as what the book has done for them, the value of reading, why should one read? And a lucky person is also going to end up winning a book from our guest here today. Today on My Book Inspiration, I sat down with a vibrant and multi-talented Phenyo Moroka, who is a digital marketer, media entrepreneur, and media personality. He's the former anchor of Yarona FM's popular morning show, TKO, as well as Yarona FM's award-winning current affairs program, Lift the Talk and Point Blank. Phenyo also hosted Doing Business in Botswana, a business television show which aired on CNBC Africa, and is a Mandela Washington Fellow and a Shell brand ambassador. Let's find out what he had to say. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, Han, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well.
Great.
Yes. I think first of all, start by saying thank you. You've got an incredible voice.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and making me shy right off the bat, but that's cool. Thank you very much.
All right, so let's go a bit into your background. Just take us a bit to your childhood, your dreams and aspirations as you were growing up.
My childhood, I've always wanted to be a doctor. I'd always wanted to be a doctor when I was growing up. And that dream changed very quickly. I think I was going into my matric year when I was doing high school in South Africa. I went to do my matric year, and while driving to school, we came across an accident that had just happened. And I saw people being pulled out of the car, and there was a lot of blood, and it really wasn't a very pleasant scene. I kind of got queasy, and that's immediately when I decided that maybe the doctor thing is not for me, and I need to discover a new path. But yeah, growing up, I'd always wanted to be a doctor. I think I'd always had a passion for, or a soft spot for people who are struggling, And I thought that was a really good way, or I felt that was the right way to sort of offer my help to people, if you will. So yeah, that had always been my dream. And today I'm far, far away from medicine as a profession.
And how did you end up where you are? Like, first of all, why radio? Because I guess that is where a lot of us got to know you.
That's an interesting story. I was at the University of Stellenbosch, and we were just sitting in the campus sort of central eating area, if you will, and somebody heard me speak, and they came up to me and said, "Yo, listen, we're from the campus radio. We're doing some ads. Would you mind, coming up and auditioning for a few ads?" So I thought, okay, what's the benefit? What's in it for me? And they're like, well, you get 200 Rand. I think it was 200 Rand or something at the time. And I thought, hey, weekend, good extra money for the weekend. So we went up to the radio station. I did auditions, and the person auditioning happened to be the programs manager of the campus radio station. And she said, yo, listen, we're looking for some new people to do a couple of new shows. Are you interested? And I thought, yeah, sure, why not? Let me see what this could do, and the rest is history. That's where I fell in love with radio in particular. That was back in 2002, 2003 already, yeah.
All right, and your journey with Yarona FM, how did you get onto Yarona FM and talk radio, branding yourself as that voice behind talk radio? Yeah.
It's a very interesting story again. I fell in love with talk radio while I was still at university. I used to listen to Metro FM, and my favorite show at the time was the Given Mkari show. I loved what he did. I studied advertising, and I've sort of followed his career, and he was sort of buying up ad agencies and doing that kind of thing. So I sort of looked at him as someone I'd like to emulate, both in terms of broadcasting, but his journey in business. So I decided, okay, talk radio was my thing. I'd also majored in political science in my degree. It was one of my majors, so it made sense to discuss political issues of the economy, because by that time I developed quite an interest in business as well. So I decided, okay, that's the brand of radio I want to do. Got back home in 2005, and I approached Owen Rampa, who was the programs manager at the time, and I said, yo, listen, I want to do talk radio. I did a whole proposal. And he said no, flat out said no. What I remember him asking, what does a 22-year-old know about talk radio? That one I'll never forget. Fast forward a few years, one of my mentors, big brothers, someone I looked up to, this was 2009, the late Matata Hasinelu, he passed away. And from his passing, I decided, Hore, look, you know what? Life is too short. I need to try and pursue my passion, what I'm passionate about. I'd been passionate about radio since I started in 2003, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna try again. I did a proposal, I handed it to Dumi Lopang, and I got it.
The rest is history.
And the rest is history,
yet again.
as they say.
But I think it's worth, getting us into your journey on radio, especially seeing that you just exited about a month ago. So please just, how was your radio journey? How long were you on radio for? And, what were some of your highlights?
I got on radio on the 1st of March 2010 full-time, but I'd been on Yarn FM already since about August 2009, standing in on a talk show called Point Blank. I basically wanted to go in and do talk radio. I got a show called Live the Talk, which was on Tuesdays, Wednesdays and Thursdays between 1 and 2 p.m. And I think my career just kind of grew from that because it was something different. I believe it was something that had never been done before. Talk radio, particularly on Yarn FM. I mean, the whole hour probably played like one song, if even. So it was completely different. And because I was somewhat conversant with what I was talking about, having a genuine interest in business, being a political science graduate, I understood political concepts. And it was easier for me to have conversations with leaders in our community, and I think that built me a pretty good reputation. It built me some sort of credibility to be able to call a government minister off the bat and get him or her into the studio, that kind of thing. So that for me was, where the journey was. My highlight even now is still the interview I had with Khosi Khafela on Point Blank. That I'll never forget. And
why is that?
Well, first of all, I managed to get him to come. That was something that I don't think anybody had done at the time. Or if it was done, very few people had done it. So I managed to bring him into the studio. He came with his entourage, and we had a pre-briefing, and he said to me, listen, just be open, just be frank. And it was a very open, very frank interview, and I really enjoyed it. I think most of all, it went very differently to how I'd expected it. He was very open. He allowed me to throw in a couple of shots respectively, of course, because he is the chief, So I had to make sure that I understood that. And I think it was one of the most successful interviews I'd done. But getting back to my journey, I did the talk radio thing till 2012, at which point I was offered the morning show on Yarn FM. I didn't want to take it. Simply because I felt it would dilute the brand I was trying to build. At the time I'd already decided I want to be someone who's taken seriously in my profession. And to be taken seriously, I need to do serious content. But the management at Yarn FM went and said, no. You can bring that personality to the morning show. And in fact, the reason we want to bring you to the morning show is that because it's been missing since Tumi Ramsden left. Tumi Ramsden had left at the time. And I thought, okay, let me give it a try. And I think that was possibly the best move that could have ever happened in my career. Because then really I got, primetime radio, bigger audience, and,
Primetime radio, bigger audience, a voice like yours. Why quit radio?
It's actually exactly a month since I left radio. And I got to a point where I had to think of a lot of things. I've got kids. I'm in my early 30s. I'm in a position that I felt couldn't offer me any more. Couldn't offer me any more in terms of what I wanted to do with my career. For a long time, I've wanted to be in business. I've started a business before that's failed, and I haven't given up. So I knew I wanted to be in business, and I just got to a point where I said, I'm 32 years old, I'm on air. What am I learning about the skills of actually starting up and running a business? I felt I wasn't. Looking forward, I felt I continue in this position. I still won't learn those things. So I had to make a decision when it's time to start a new journey, a journey that will bring me closer to my ultimate career goal of being a pretty damn good businessman. Yeah.
Phenyo Moroka will continue with you just on the other side of this very quick break. Let's catch us right after this on My Book Inspiration with Phenyo Moroka.